Hey guys, MaxLPQueen here, and I would like to give you guys a little update here, probably one of the last parts of the leveling guide for a little while. I know I said the last episode was going to be the last one until I reach level 66, but I decided to go ahead and make this one not the last episode completely, but one of the last ones, because a lot of people still had questions with the other episodes on how to get the most experience and what they need to do to get the experience. So I decided to make this one to make it crystal clear as to every way that you can use to get yourself some experience and get yourself leveled up to 70, which I will say good luck, because it's going to be a lot of grinding and you are really going to have to work at it to get to level 70, but if you manage to, then good on ya. So first thing, obvious choice for a lot of people is fishing. You can fish and get yourself some experience for each catch that you get, or you can leave your character AFK fishing, and he or she can just sit out here and fish all day long and get experience all day. So that's obviously a good way to get yourself some experience. Another way to get some experience is what we have been doing recently, and that is going through and doing all of the green quests in TERA and Terralion. So when we went through and did those, they went away, but they came back. Each day they come back. So if you want to do those every day, that's going to give you the most amount of experience. That includes everything that we did in TERA and Terralion, as well as maybe High Watch. I don't know if the High Watch one is an everyday thing. I couldn't remember off the top of my head, but I do know that any of the green quests that you have for experience, do those every day, and those are going to give you a good amount as well. And then of course, one of the other things that you can do is you can run dungeons. Dungeons are obviously a good way to get yourself some experience. You can go in the ones that are recommended for you by your Vanguard request thing, push H, and you can see in Vanguard request which dungeons that are recommended for you to go in, and you can queue for them and go in them to get some experience as well. It's not the same, I guess, as some of the other types of things that you can do to get experience. I think it's per boss that you defeat, you get experience. But this is obviously, it's another way that you can go through and do it as well. And then of course another way, that with the way that I have actually been doing for a really long time now, and that's how I've gotten most of my experience so far, is by going through a Corsair Stronghold. Whether you win or lose, I think you have to win though. I'm not entirely sure, but when you run through a Corsair Stronghold, you will see when you push H on your Vanguard request, it tells you to run the Shorehold, which is a PvP dungeon that is not unified gear, so you have to use your own gear. So make sure that you have the PvP gear that they give to you in the Belcarium credit shop, and you have that enchanted and geared up if you want to go in the Shorehold. If you can get a queue, because I've heard that the queues for Shorehold take a really long time, because people don't tend to want to queue for it, because they don't want to go in there and end up losing, spending all that time in queue and then spending all that time in the battleground just to lose, and then when you lose you don't get the experience. So most people had decided to turn to Corsair Stronghold instead, which is the same type of PvP battleground, except it is not your own PvP gear, it is all unified gear. So when you go into a Corsair Stronghold, it's all, everyone has the same gear. So you don't have to worry about it. You just go in and you'll have the same gear as everyone else. They're fairly simple. They're pretty easy to get through and do. All you have to do is listen to your party manager or whoever it is, whoever the leader of your party, and when you're on attack or defense side, then you go out and you do what you need to do to stop the other team from attacking your archstone. You want to get the shortest amount of time possible, because that's going to give the other team or they're going to give less of a chance of being able to destroy yours, because if you start attacking first and you take down their archstone first, in like say 3 or 4 minutes, then that leaves the other team only 3 or 4 minutes to attack your archstone and to take it out in order to win, which can be pretty tricky at times, and you might take maybe 1 or 2 or possibly 3 or 4 or more. It might take you a bunch of strongholds to be able to get through it fully and to be able to complete it. Or not, am I saying stronghold? I think I am. I meant Corsair Stronghold. It might take you a few of these to be able to get through it and get the request completed and get yourself the reward of the experience, but it is worth it because you get, I believe it's 91 million experience each time that you win in Corsairs. So that's a good way to get yourself some nice XP, and that, like I said, that's how I've gotten most of mine. Besides doing the green quest, it was from doing this PvP dungeon as well. And of course, there's other ways that you can get experience too. You can actually go and start gathering. So I know it might not seem like it's a lot, and it might not seem worth it, but if you are one of those people who likes to gather and craft things, then this is something that will interest you, because each time that you gather something, you get some experience. And you can see just how much you get over there down in the corner. I think that's 98 or 96 or something like that. I can't really see it because this is post commentary, but you get experience each time that you collect something. And of course, for me, since I don't do a lot of crafting, this is just basically gold, because the more that you gather and collect, you can put on the trade broker and you can sell it for gold, which is actually much needed because there are a lot of people that do craft and do a lot of things with these materials, so having them on hand can actually be good for you. Plus you get the experience, and if you need some of the lower materials such as the plain stones and the achromic essences, this is a good thing to do as well, because to upgrade your fishing rods you need plain stones and you need cobalt ores, and you can find those around everywhere and just gather and get them up where they need to be. So also, after you are done with all of your gathering, another way that you can get some experience, which is not going to give you too much experience, it might give you more depending on what you decide to craft, but crafting does give you experience as well. So for me, I only have the fish crates and the baits and stuff that I could craft, but each time that you craft an item, it's going to give you some experience as well. It's not going to be a lot. Like I said, it might be a bit more if you were to craft, say, like if I had bait 5 available and I crafted bait 5, I might get more experience than just crafting bait 2. But either way, that's going to give you some experience as well. And then of course, the last way that you can get some experience, which people have found to be very useful, and also a bit grindy, but it's something that you need to do if you want experience, is killing the desert basilisk over in Sienna Canyon in Elena. So these basilisks are level 67, and they are going to give you a good amount of experience each time that you kill one, and they are a bit easier to kill than some of the other BAMs that are on this area. There's also some dragons as well. If you'd like to take on those dragons, then feel free to do so, but the basilisks are basically the easiest ones to take out and to take care of without having to worry too much in terms of all the mechanics and things, because with the dragons you have to worry about them flying up in the air, and also they're a relatively good level for grinding as well, because they're only 67, and I believe the dragons are level 69, I know the ones that I saw were level 69, so plus flying in the air, it does not work out. But that's it though. That is pretty much everything that I know to tell you guys in terms of leveling your character up to 70. So, like I said in the last one, it's a grind, basically. If you want to get to level 70, you have to grind non-stop. Even to get to level 66. And what I'm hoping is maybe in the future they'll try and change this a bit and help us out, or at least do something, because where it's at right now is pretty annoying. Having to get only a tiny amount of experience per BAM, or a tiny amount per crafting or gathering or fishing. It can add up, but still, it's just not the same as if you were to do the red quest when you're leveling 1 to 65. So until that happens, if it happens, or if they just leave it the way it is, then this is going to be pretty much your only ways of getting yourself some experience and leveling up your character. So that's going to be it for me. We're going to do probably, I guess say one more after this one when I reach level 67. Or not 67, 66. Because I do want to go over the skill advancement little thingy-majig that is in your skills. I can't actually even go over to it and check it out until I reach level 66 myself. So I do want to try to go over that and explain that as well, if I can, whenever I reach that level. But until then, I wanted to leave you guys with this, so you can get to grinding and have yourselves some good things to do while you wait to get to level 70. So that's going to be it for me, and I will see you guys in the next one.